Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing you a 2012 team preview for the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to start with their offense to see what we can expect from the Bengals this upcoming season. When you draft a quarterback in the second round, you don't expect this guy to come in and play right away. So what the Bengals did last year with Andy Dalton makes it that much more impressive. In Andy Dalton, you got a guy coming out of TCU that was a true leader, a winner, won a lot of ball games, and had solid fundamental quarterback skill. Well, he has to improve. He has to make sure he doesn't bird dog his wide receivers as far as locking in on targets. If he can do that, he's going to take huge strides in year two. I'm been very impressed with what he brings to the table. A fearless competitor, a guy that's not afraid of the pressure, and you can't say that about some young quarterbacks. So when they thrust this guy in the lineup and he responded with his level of play, you have to be excited about the future. The running back situation of the Cincinnati Bengals is a little bit more shaky, in my opinion. They lose Cedric Benson to free agency, but they bring over BenJarvus Green-Ellis from the Patriots. This is a guy that hasn't fumbled in God knows how long, so he wants his chance to be the bell cow back. So that's why they bring him over. He's going to be the main guy. But there's some talented depth behind him. There's Bernard Scott, a guy that helps out on kickoff return and also has that agility and the lateral quickness that you want out of your backs. And you also have Brian Leonard, a guy that can play fullback, tailback, ace back. So you like the versatility that he brings to the table, but I still have some question marks about the lack of explosiveness overall out of the position. Now, excuse me if I sound a little bit too excited about the Bengals receiving corps. In my opinion, this young receiving corps, growing with a young quarterback, could potentially be one of the better ones, if not the best, in the league. You already have a superstar in A.J. Green. This guy has the tremendous length, the vertical jump that you want, and explosiveness after the catch. Number one target for years to come. Then they go ahead and draft Mohamed Sanu, where he supposed to go in the third round. Classic number 2 type of receiver. I'm also excited about Marvin Jones. I actually think he's a better player than Jordan Shipley, who's also returning back from injury. So they get that guy back as well. So they're 1 to 4 are very solid in the receiving game. The tight end play is going to be vital. Jermaine Gresham, one of the best young tight ends in the league. Instant matchup problems in the red zone, and you team him up with another talented H-back type of tight end in Orson Charles, another guy that has outstanding receiving skills, and you have to be excited about the Bengals receiving corps in 2012. The offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals did an outstanding job last year in keeping Andy Dalton well protected and helping out their running game. The reason why Andre Smith did a great job of showing up, living up to his first round status, and playing exceptionally well on the right side. Only gave up 2 sacks on the season. Andrew Whitworth is a guy that has supreme athleticism. That's why you see him with the football in his hand. Nice touchdown right there, but also does a great job as pass protection on the left side. Kyle Cook, 50 consecutive starts, rock right there in the center, does a great job of getting all the calls involved. And they have some solid depth along that offensive line. Anthony Collins is a guy that I really like. Could be a starter on many other teams, but they have him as a solid swing guy, can play at any position on the offensive line. But the 2 young guys that they bring in, one young guy and Kevin Zeitler, drafted him out of Wisconsin. You can't go wrong with the Wisconsin offensive lineman. And they bring over Travell Wharton from the Carolina Panthers. This is replacing Nate Livens, which is an upgrade over what Livens was able to do last year. So the offensive line for the Bengals, in my opinion, is a lot better than it was in 2011. The D-line was the strength of this Bengals defense last season, and I think it can be the strength again. When you look up front, Carlos Dunlap has to stay healthy, and he has a lot of talent. Michael Johnson is a guy that, with his 6'7" frame, causes a lot of problems for opposing offenses because he has the ability to reach and get around guys and make tackles in the backfield. Geno Atkins made the Pro Bowl last season with 7.5 sacks. 2 young, youthful guys come in and join this rotation. Brandon Thompson out of Clemson and also Devin Steele out of Penn State. Both guys, respectively, I gave a second round and first round grade to. And when you're aggressive up front, you have the depth, you have the rotation. The Matapeko is a guy that you can't block, one of those nasty guys. And a lot of people think the hair makes him nasty, but nah, this guy's play is outstanding. So if this unit stays healthy, you can see a repeat performance in 2012. The talented Ray Maualuga is one of those linebackers that you want on your team. Plays downhill, aggressive, and does a great job of stuffing the run once he comes in contact with the defender. And you also look at the other linebackers. They have Thomas Howard, a guy that led the team in tackles last season, and it shouldn't be a reason why he can't do so again. And Manny Lawson, long guy, 6'5", 240 pounds. They envision him being the pass rusher, but I have my eye on undrafted rookie free agent, as always. That's Vontaze Burfict out of Arizona State. I think he's a Ray Lewis clone. Plays downhill, aggressive, the nasty type of linebackers you want playing for your squad. And you also look at the depth. Dante Moak brings a lot of speed, so if he can stay healthy, this is a dangerous pass rushing type of linebacker. And don't forget, they bring back Roderick McElroy, another guy that tore his Achilles last season, missed all of last year, so he should provide some adequate depth for the Bengals. Some have the Bengals secondary as a question mark. I have it as a strength. The reason why: veteran leadership. You get Leon Hall back from injury. That's a huge addition to that secondary. You also have Nate Clemens, 12-year vet. You bring over Terrence Newman, 10-year veteran from the Cowboys. So there's some veteran leadership right now in that Bengals secondary. Now you look at the safety position. You have Reggie Nelson, who finally played up to his first-round status, a guy that plays free safety, but he's probably better suited as a strong safety. But they also have some young guys. Taylor Mays is your quintessential strong safety, struggles in coverage, but does a great job near the line of scrimmage. Keep an eye on two rookie safeties, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of George Ialoka, 6'4", 225 pounds, can play free or strong safety. And another young guy, he was drafted a couple years ago, and that's Robert Sands out of West Virginia, another 6'4" safety. So they have some range, but all eyes will be on rookie cornerback Dre Kirkpatrick. Can he come in and help man down the slot position alongside Adam Jones? And those guys can hold their own in nickel and dime situations while Drake Kirkpatrick grows into being the starter you want down the line. That's the biggest question about the secondary, but it's not short on talent. When you have a defensive front that can get pressure on a quarterback and can also stop the run, you have to be optimistic about the Bengals defense. And they have some talented players in the secondary, some guys that can make plays on the ball. Offensively, you got a young gun at quarterback. You surrounded him with young talent at the receiver position and at the tight end position. You're going to see more double tight end sets. You're going to see more creative formations for the offense, and that's going to create added opportunities for these guys to put points on the board. Special teams is going to be solid. You have two outstanding returners in Brandon Tate as a kick returner and Adam Jones as your punt returner. So there's a lot of optimism out here in Cincinnati. The biggest cause for concern for me, in my opinion, has to be the running game. I'm a big fan of having threats at every position, and right now I don't think they have any threats in the backfield, whether it be the first string, second string, or third string. They need someone out there that puts the fear of God in defenders in the running game, and I don't think they have that, and that's the biggest question I have about the Bengals. Still in all, I have these guys finishing second in the AFC North. I think they'll make a return appearance to the playoffs. Very talented bunch. I know you can't predict health, but if this team is healthy, this is a team that's very dangerous. You have to believe Andy Dalton will improve his coverage reading skills in year 2. The talent around him has gotten better. The coaching staff has always been consistent, and that's what you need in order to have success in this league. So it shouldn't surprise people when the Bengals are in contention for the division and running themselves back into the playoffs.